Hi everyone, it's Vicky here and welcome back to another card making video. Today I'm featuring the May card kit by SSS Stamp, and as always, let's take a look first on what's included. So you will get a pack of glitter pens. There are 6 different colors inside, and since my daughter loves anything that has to do with stationery, you already know where these are. Then in the kit you will get a little tray as well as this new tool by SSS Stamp. And I'm going to open it up for you so you can see what this is. So this is actually an embellishment wand. One of the sides has this wax tip to pick up small things. The other side has a little ball tool that helps you score your paper. And I'm going to show you another tool that I have by SSS Stamp, lately released. I think it was released in the previous collection. That is very handy to have as well. So one side helps you pick up little elements, the other side is pointy. So here are both of them next to each other. And it is fun to have tools like that. Absolutely love them when they come in a kit, because you get a tool that you can use again and again for all the years to come. And since you have the tray and the pickup tool, you get a bag of confetti that you can use. So today I'm going for a shaker card since I have all the elements that I need for that. Now moving on to the stamp set, and this kit is all about birthday cards. This is a great birthday stamp set. It's going to give you many different options on sentiments as well as balloons and many gifts. Then you will also get a big happy birthday die. It is a great focal point since it is quite big and it really makes a statement on top of your cards. Now here is a pack of cardstock that is the exact same size as the standard card, and it has lovely ombre effect on top, blended colors in pastel shades, and they make the perfect card front. You can come up with cards using the die and these card fronts in no time. That's exactly what I'm going to do today. Very simple cards for today, but you can come up with birthday cards in no time. A little tag, blue tag, and finally you will get your cardstock as always. And let's start with the first card. I'm going to use one of the card bases included in the kit, but this is exactly the same size as the standard card base. That's why I'm going to cut it into being slightly smaller. This way I will end up having a little border when I place this on top of my card. So I just chopped off 1/4 of an inch from the two sides. Now it doesn't get any easier than that. All I'm going to do is to place the die on top of the panel and run it through my die cutting machine. So you will end up with a positive and a negative. Don't throw anything away. You can use both of them to create cards, which is something that I'm going to do today. No waste. So again, keep all those little bits and pieces from the inside when you separate them. I'm going to use each and every one of them for my two cards, even if it seems that this little bit is for the trash. So for this first card I'm going with a negative. I'm going to put all those aside, making sure that I don't lose any one of those pieces. And at the back of my panel I'm going to add double-sided tape all around happy birthday. Now I'm going to peel off the backing, and then I do have a piece of acetate which I'm going to stick there. And if you want, you can use some glue and add some dots in between the letters so every little piece is nicely stuck down on the acetate. I'm using my scissors to cut off any excess from the acetate because I was too lazy to measure before sticking it down. And then I'm going to place the happy birthday on top just as a mask. I'm not going to use these on the first card. So this is just my template in being able to stick all those little bits and pieces in between the letters. This is going to make the negative readable. With the magic of video editing, here is how it looks. Remember, there is acetate behind all those cutouts. And now to turn it into a shaker card, I'm going to use my foam tape and I'm going all around the letters. For that I like to use my big roll of foam tape, and I like it because it is quite wide, so it's going to make it nice and sturdy. So I'm going to add my confetti on top of my card base and then stick that panel on top. Now, although this card is very simple in design, it is super fun to hand out to someone as it has that shaker element and it makes everyone happy when they get them. If you want, you can definitely use elements from the stamp set to take it a step further. For example, you can stamp the balloon, some of the gifts, or even the cake, and just stick them on top of your card. So the truth is that for this card, I'm just going to add a secondary sentiment, but since I grabbed the stamp set, I went ahead and did all the stamping that I wanted for the next card. So let's do that now. So I picked a few of those images, a couple of candles, a balloon, and one of the gifts, and I'm going to stamp with black ink. I will use my alcohol markers later on to color those images. And by the way, I'm using the new Stampwheel stamping platform by Altenew. I'm still testing it out. I absolutely love how it works, especially for making wreaths. But that's something for another video. So anyway, I did stamp twice so that I get a good impression. And then you can color them and cut them out with your scissors. There are also available dies to cut out the images. Or if you have a scan and cut like me, just use that to cut out the images. I did cut them out by leaving a little border all around, as you can see. So perfectly cut out images. I still cannot understand why I didn't invest in getting a scan and cut for so long, especially since I am a professional crafter. So anyway, let's move on. Again, for this card, I'm not going to use those cutout images, but I'm going to finish off the first card that I did by adding some little sequins here and there. So I have confetti inside and a few confetti pieces on the outside. Make sure that you use colorful ones just to make it more fun. And then to finish it off, I'm going to add a sentiment. And for that, I did use the positively saturated ink in the color Heather, which matches perfectly with the color on my background. So I didn't want to go with black so that it doesn't stand out so much. I did use one of my banner dies, my sentiment dies, to cut it out, and then I added underneath the word birthday. So that's the first card for today, and let's move on and use all the rest of the pieces that we have already. So I did cut out the word happy birthday, and I cut it out one more time from a white cardstock so that I can stick one on top of the other to make it sturdier. However, don't throw away the panel that you cut out the white happy birthday. This can be turned into yet another card with no waste at all. Just use one of your panels at the background, all the inside pieces, just like we did for the first card, and you can go on and go on with that concept, making a bunch of birthday cards with no waste. So what I'm going to do is to stick one on top of the other, and you can go with 2 or even 3 layers if you want your sentiment to be even bulkier. I just use, however, 1 layer of white cardstock and the layer of the colored cardstock on top. And then for the back, I'm going to use those very thin strips of foam tape. These are by Waffle Flower and I absolutely love them. I find them very, very handy. And I'm going to add a few little pieces at the back. This is going to lift the sentiment to add the dimension that I want without having to cut out happy birthday 1 zillion of times. Now I'm going to place that on top of my panel, and this is not an easy task because they are moving, but take your time and try to place them as straight as possible. One thing that can help you out is if you add a little bit of glue at the back, which is going to allow you to slide the pieces in place before you stick them down. Now again, you can stop here if you like, add a few gems here and there. It is really up to you, and keep it quite simple, just like we did with the first card. However, since I did cut out all the pieces, I'm going to use them as embellishments for this second card. And I also have a secondary sentiment for this card as well, which I just stamped on die cut piece, which is just half a circle. I had this piece on my desk forever, it was just a scrap, so I thought, why not, let's create a sentiment that doesn't look with anything else. Anyway, I'm going to add foam tape at the back and I'm going to stick it up at the top, or you can definitely stick it below the word birthday. Now for all the cutouts, I did very basic coloring. As you can see, I just picked a color that matches the color of my background, and I didn't want to overwhelm the card with vibrant colors since I'm going for that pastel look. And I'm just adding some dots on the gift just to make it look more interesting. I'm also going to add a highlight on one side of the balloon. And then I'm just going to stick them on top of my card, embellishing the happy birthday words. By the way, at the back of all those pieces I did add some foam tape, and always remember that you can make them your own. You don't have to use them as they are. So here, for example, the candle was too tall to fit, plus I didn't want those candles to be identical in height. I think it looks more interesting this way. So I just chopped off a little bit from the bottom. Then I have this balloon which I'm going to add there. You can definitely cut off the tail or use a string as a tail and wrap it around your letter. This is going to add something extra and really fun for a card like this one. So I placed the gift on top, and this is the finished second card. I absolutely love the pastel colors and how soft they look. And I'm going to recreate the same idea with the rest of the panels in the kit so that I end up with loads of birthday cards, which is always handy to have. You can also make them into sets and hand them out as gifts to someone else. So thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope that you had fun, that you got inspired, and I'll see you all next time.